Well, hello again. I just thought I'd do a video of an engine stand that I'm putting together. So I've taken a Sealy 3-leg engine stand and reinforced it. So I've put a reinforcing C-section across the front, welded that in. Also added what's going to be a battery tray and a support here as well for the fuel tank. Below it, see the studs that are going to locate the panel which holds on the fuel pump and filter. And all this material has been either scavenged from skips. There's a metal working company next to Panelcraft where I used to work, and because you jump in there and drag out some steel. I'm going to use a bell housing on a Volkswagen, which is this baby here. So a Volkswagen bell housing there off a bus, and this was the engine support for the engine stand, which I've modified slightly. Normally these prongs would attach at this point so that you can adjust them and then attach them to your engine or gearbox, but I've just welded them onto the actual engine support to give the whole assembly a bit of extra strength. So you can see as this connects. Oh, hang on, let me remove that nut. Just bolts through here. These will connect at this point. Some nice long bolts, and give the whole thing some extra strength. And also it's going to be a mounting point for my my panel, my electric panel with all the switches, and hopefully a little rev counter in there as well. The fuel tank is going to be from a lawnmower, a Honda GX 360, which has got quite a complex mounting point. But I had this lying around. It is brand new, but I had it lying around from some old go-kart projects. So I had to make up a chassis for it, if you like, out of some old legs, chair legs, which I welded together with some tabs, and this will locate like that, and this will then go on to stand at this point, which will be bolted down. I've just got a piece of steel here which is about 1.5 thick, which I will use to mount the fuel pump and filter onto. So I'll start assembling it shortly, and you can see how it comes together. I'm going to add some swivel wheels up the front there to make it easy to manoeuvre. Right, bear with me. To the stand. Now traditionally I've used, or have been using up until this point, this bell housing, a VW bus bell housing, to start my engines, and a series of cables connected to a very simple panel. So I'm going to use a very similar wiring setup, but I'm going to put I'm still going to use the bell housing, but I'm going to mount the whole lot onto this modified engine stand support, and normally they would look something like this. So you would be able to adjust this to suit the needs of your engine or your gearbox, whatever you're working on. So I've just taken that and welded the support brackets onto the actual stand, so they will locate thus. So now I'm going there. They've got some nice long bolts to go through here, and then the whole thing will go and connect up to the engine stand. I'm going to reinforce it slightly. I've put some extra holes in. I'm going to put some bolts through to give it a bit more stability. And yeah, so that's the point and where I'm at. Just finished giving it a fresh lick of paint, and then I'll start assembling it. So I'll add to the video later. Okay. Okay guys, here's a little update as the next stage. We've connected the bell housing with the starter motor to the stand. I've got the electric fuel pump, facet fuel pump, and the fuel filter in place, and wired the negative to the stand's chassis, which the battery will also be earthed on. The fuel tank, and there we go, I've got the little chassis in place for the fuel tank, and the underneath it came with the standard petrol lawnmower type Honda outlet, so I'm just going to replace that with a 1/8 NPT 8mm brass outlet. I'll just screw that into there, and then I can connect that to the fuel pump. Also, my very first panel, which as you can see is just a flat piece of 5mm. It's not even perspex actually. It's a low density board, but anyway, you can see it's fairly basic with the wiring on the back. I'll go through the wiring at another stage. But I've come up with a nicer option. This was stage one, just sort of trying to get the angle right, and that locates on here. That will do. And so what here was going to be for a rev counter, which I don't have at the moment, but I'm trying to source one. So that was version 1, that wasn't working particularly well. So version 2, add a little less of an angle on it, and that does work a lot better. I'm just trying to work out where the switches are going to go. So 52mm rev counter here, start button, on and off button, and the oil pressure. And I've just put some small holes in there for tie wraps at the side, at the back. I'm probably going to use a small fuse box as well, and I wouldn't mind putting in a relay for the fuel pump as well, so when the oil pressure light comes on, the fuel pump will turn off. That's it for the moment. I shall get back to you later on. Okay, this is a little update on the wiring before I change it for the new panel and incorporate the electric fuel pump and relay. So, original panel, the old one, with an on-off switch, starter, push starter switch, and a oil pressure light. So on the rear we've got 12 volt coming in here through the on-off switch into an 8 amp, I think it is, an 8 amp white Volkswagen fuse. And then I know it's a bit Heath Robinson, but to split the power to distribution block, 12 volt then goes down to your coil through this one. 12 volt goes through the push starter switch. This then goes to your starter motor, which is this connection. Oh, it's probably a bit dark. This connection here. Yeah, so that's your starter motor, and also you've got 12 volt going to the lamp for your oil pressure, and the other line from the oil pressure light obviously goes to your oil pressure switch on the engine. So that's essentially it. So I'm just going to incorporate what I was originally going to do was put a fuse box here, but I think what I might do is what I've found. I've just been looking around for parts in my various boxes, and I've got some switches and a nice relay which is already fused, which I'm hoping I can use, and I just need to check the wiring loom on that one. If not, I know one of these would definitely fit. These are Volkswagen ones. So I just need to check the function. Yeah, so what I think I might do is just add another another distribution block, extend this, and have another inline fuse rather than have my fuse box, if you like, because it's too much, and I shall probably keep that for another little project. The inline fuses work fine; they do the job perfectly well, and they'll be out of sight, and it's easier to mount as well. So yeah, that's essentially it. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next stage.